Oh, hey, what's going on, y'all? What's going on, BTV fam? It's your boy Marcus, and I'm here with the beautiful, talented, the one and only, my wife,
Say my name.
LaFlower Bowie. What's up, y'all? Back
Hey
again,
guys.
for another episode 14. Can you believe it's been 14 episodes?
Heck yeah, I can't believe it's been 14 episodes.
Man, we banging them out. We getting it in today. Getting it in. All right, but please follow, like, and subscribe. We're on Stunner Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere where you got audio, visuals, we on that mug. So please like and subscribe. We in that.
Absolutely, because we want to hear from you guys. We want to know that you're there. We want to hear from you. What questions? Because we're going to go over some questions tonight. So let's get into it. How you been today?
Man, I'm feeling good. It's Sunday, chill day. You know what I'm saying? I got my wine here. Got this, what's this, Japanese one?
Yes. Plum
This is some
wine.
good plum wine. It's really smooth, really good, tastes really great. You know, I don't do the bitters. I don't do the bitter wines.
We know.
I love my wine sweet.
Merlot, no caps for you.
Nah. Gotta have a little sweetness to it. So yeah, that one's right on point. You feel me?
Your
So
girl over here just sipping on water.
yeah, and pretty much after the show, I'm also a cigar connoisseur, so I'll probably be hitting up a cigar or two,
Okay.
chilling, relaxing, and for getting ready for this week coming up. Case of the Mondays, you know how it is.
Right. And did you know that this Sunday is our last show for July? Wow. So it's the last Sunday in July. So we're super excited to rock it out with you guys tonight. So the first half of the show, guys, we want to reintroduce ourselves to some of our new Beyond the Vowz family and reintroduce ourselves. That's on him all day, every day. Stella Rosa, and reintroduce ourselves to, some of our, faithful BTV fam. So, there are certain questions that we get asked a lot. And so we've compiled some of those questions, whether it was from social media or, face to face, people that we work with, just people who meet us and they're like, wow, y'all do all of that. How do y'all manage? So we're not going to take much time. We're just going to jump right into it.
With these questions, babe, come on with these questions. Let's get it popping. Let's go.
So the first question is, how did you and Marcus meet? How did you guys meet? I'll let you take that one.
So this is how it played out, right? Nah, but for real, we met here in Houston, of course. We met on a job. Mm-hmm. We were both working at.
We were co-workers.
Yes, we
we'll
were.
Say that.
In this particular job, we how can I describe? We were installers.
We were technicians.
We
we installed.
My wife, surprisingly, she's not just
a cute face.
Yeah, a cute face that likes to mentor and coach and all that. Man, she can get grimy with them hands. Like she can change oils. I didn't see her the shower was like she had to put the cartridge into the shower and put the knob back on and all that. She did that by herself. So
Absolutely.
She's very mechanically inclined. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? So we were technicians. When we first met each other, of course, in this position.
Oh, no, that's another question. So that's like first impressions. So, but that's a different question. So yes, guys, we met each other on the job. Marcus had already been there for a while. I was new. I have been trying to.
Man, I was one of them lead guys. I was like one of them lead techs.
No,
you know
were
what I'm
not.
saying? Yes, I was, man. Why you always?
You never led me on.
You won't let me shine. So yeah, I was one of those go-to guys. One of those guys that got stuff done. People look towards because I had experience and stuff like that.
All I said was that you were there before I was there. But yes, There were a lot of people who gleaned from your wisdom and experience, if we want to say that. So, guys, yes, we were on the job. We weren't like on the same team or whatever, so we just saw each other in passing. But our teams met up together in morning huddles and up briefings and things like that. And so that's how we officially met each other. Now, let's jump into first impressions of each other. I'll let you take this one too.
Oh man, first impressions. Okay, so she's not really giving you. She's really staying away. She won't give you all the details. I'm gonna spill it. So we were. I can't name the company we worked for, but I'm gonna say that it was in the beginning stages of Uverse. So
really?
At this particular point, we were all in the area before the product got actually rolled out.
We were in an upbrief session.
Like she was saying, there's different crews. Different crews might have had 15 to 20 people on it.
Right.
They had their own individual manager. I was in one crew, she was in the other. There's probably, I don't know, this work center we worked at had a bunch of crews, one of the largest ones in Houston.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's probably like 4 or 5 crews, who knows. And there's a bunch of people up here in this area.
Yeah.
So we were chilling, just shooting the breeze, gossiping, talking about all type of stuff. Well, I noticed that, and there's not that many females.
Women.
You know what I'm saying? Not too many females, ladies, in this position. So she stuck out like a sore thumb. So I used to see this chick used to come in and like
really
early in the morning, you said how it was. First of all, I was like, who is this chick, bro? Who is this chick that comes in the morning?
He was checking me out.
And so she would come in and be bummed out in this cubicle every morning, every day. Like she had a late night, like she was turning some tricks, just doing some extracurricular activities at night. And I'm like, why is she always coming in here tired, looking bummy? I mean, she would come in, have her jacket over her head, she didn't want to be bothered. So she stuck out like a sore thumb because she was one of the few females that we had. We probably maybe had, at that time, maybe the most, maybe 3 or 4.
3 out of like 50. 45 to 50
like a whole
people.
bunch of dudes. Mm-hmm. So she stuck out. And plus, on top of it, everybody was like people, because you know how it is, fellas, that are in a predominantly male position. You have a few females. No offense. I'm not saying my bad. But I'm like, they'll holler at anything. You know what I'm saying? They'll hop and be all up on it because she's one of the few. So everybody was like, man, did you see old girl? You see her over there, blah, 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 and blah, blah. And I'm like, man, yeah, I got time for that, bro.
Anyways, so his first impression of me, y'all, was that I was a bum. I was lazy, and that I took advantage of being the only female surrounded by, in a predominantly male, a work environment. But that was totally not the case because your girl held her own. I was, constantly on the leaderboard, all types of things. So I held my own. I got my job done. Okay. I never called. Did I ever call? I don't think I ever called a man to just come and help me to get my. I know it's first impression. I'm just like you said. You want to lay down the foundation.
You want to go all into the job details.
I'm just saying. Okay. So honestly, guys, when I first met Marcus, and nothing new. I thought Marcus was a cocky, overly confident ass. If I can just be, frank, if I could just be honest, I did not like him at all. And so I was just like, oh, this guy gets on my absolute nerves. He walks in here with his shoulders all doot, 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 think he's the man. Always, talking about his situations outside of work and how close he lived to the work center. He would constantly let everyone know, I could walk to work if I could. So anyways, we don't want to go. And you did.
What?
You did.
I didn't even live that close to the work.
But you made it known, like, hey, I don't live too far from the work center.
Oh, but you hear she's listening, though. She's paying attention. She's watching your boy.
I pay attention to everybody. That's how I was raised, to pay attention.
Yo.
All right, guys. So that's first impressions. So next is going to be how long did you know each other before you started your relationship?
You go ahead and go. You answer that one.
So guys, this is a 2-part question. Well, it's a two-part answer. I'll say that. So I would say officially, we met each other in 07, and we officially got together in 09. So a little bit over 2 years. So yeah, that's my answer. I'm sticking to it.
So basically, yeah, like I said, we worked in this position for a while. We weren't like working together. Our paths did cross. I mean, we had mutual friends that were also at this job that we would deal with. But we didn't really start a relationship. And there's a whole bunch to this. This is not just a straightforward like relationship. There's so much, and maybe we need a Patreon after dark edition of Beyond the Vowz to really go in detail as to what exactly happened and what unfolded, because it's made for TV. Like how we started could have been a movie,
right?
Real talk, because there's so much ins and outs, drama, and different things. But yeah, it definitely kicked off very interesting in 09,
to say the least.
Yes.
And I know I'm just gonna throw this question in there. It's not on the list, but one of the questions was, how long did you date before getting married? And I like to say that we never officially dated, even though we got married. We officially got together in 09. We got married in 2012. Those almost 3 years, 2.5 years. It wasn't a dating situation. It was like, we gonna make this work.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, let me take you out, because it literally happened in a blink of an eye, where it's like, okay, y'all together officially, let's do this.
So let me ask you guys out there that's watching, like, and that brings up a whole nother question I have as far as like, I guess, time and dating as far as marriage. Is there like a length of time of which you say before you say I do or you propose?
Right.
I mean, or should I say it's like 6 months? Is that too soon? 3 months? A year? Like, how long is the dating scene these days? And what do y'all feel? I mean, I would like to see some of your comments. Drop it in. I feel like if you find somebody that lights your fire, y'all mix, everything's cool, y'all evenly yoked, everything's in tune, y'all vibing, everything's great.
Right.
It shouldn't take that long for you guys to, if you're looking for marriage, if that's what you want to do, to go ahead and tie that knot. I mean, me being engaged and shagging for like years, that wasn't gonna pop off.
Right.
Although,
I mean, there were some legal matters that we had to tend to before and that was the reason. One of the biggest reasons what took us so long to officially tie the knot, why it was almost 2.5 years, was because we had to get some legal matters in place. And so that's just what that was. But I think we touched on that subject a couple weeks ago when Larry and Tangela drew. Sorry, if you guys missed that episode, y'all gotta go watch it, because it was super duper funny. But we talked about so many good topics, and one of the things that we talked about was, Larry wanted to wait until he was ready to, to officially make that commitment to Tangela and, that covenant with God. And so for her, it appeared to be that it was longer. She asked, like, what else, bro? Like, what else do we need? Okay, you guys were together a year before you got married.
Okay, Lisa, yeah. So a year, I mean, that's feasible. You know what I'm saying?
2 months engaged, all right.
Yeah, so
it's like,
it varies.
When you know,
varies.
Right?
It's all about between that person and your relationship and the other person. I mean, y'all know this is for everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it's not, then yeah, you don't be him-hawing around and postponing some things.
But also too, when you postpone it's almost a lot. What I found is that there are people who are still waiting on someone better. It's like, I'm with this guy, I'm with this girl, with this woman. Mm-hmm. They cool and all. They light my fire a little bit, but there may be somebody out there who can cause me to have an epic explosion.
Oh,
right, an epic explosion. Dang.
Yes, she said light my fire a little bit.
So
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's important for you to do what makes you feel good, but also, like we said before, like, it got to a point where we had to set our expectations. I had to revisit my expectations and share those with Marcus, because even after the legal matters were taken care of, we were still shacking. Like, we were still living together as husband and wife, but we were not. So that's that. But we definitely got to do a story time, probably on Patreon, to tell you guys all the tea
Get that
about yeah.
Man, because like I said, I'm gonna be honest, our relationship is not your traditional how it starts and all that kind of stuff. No. So like I said, I think our story will help a lot of people in their marriage and their relationships, and that they don't have to have the tradition like we gotta date and it has to be all roses and mom and dad gotta be okay and the whole family's just kumbaya, and then we have this beautiful wedding and spend this and everything, the honeymoon. Absolutely not. To have a blissful long-term relationship, hey, it can start with some mess down in the gutter and it don't look good and you like, what is going on? But it can, in the end game, it's a beautiful thing. It may not start well, but it may finish just how you want.
Super strong, super strong. All right, so let's keep it moving. All right. You said how long did we? Oh, that one was on there. Were any of your kids playing? So let's rewind. So we have 8 kids together. He came into the marriage with 1. You some those. He came into marriage with 1. I came into the marriage with 3, and now we've had 4 together. So that's how we have 8 children. I would say probably about 1.5 was playing out of the 4 that we have together, because Zoe was kind of playing. We kind of knew our first shot together, and then our last shot together, Riley, for sure, she was definitely playing. And so I will say, when it comes to, it's different. It's different when you have a chance to plan for your child versus, oh crap, I'm pregnant.
So for future reference, my baby Skylar and Alana, we love y'all. Y'all here.
We love all the babies.
Absolutely a blessing.
We love all 8 of y'all.
Like, y'all didn't plan for me? What was that, a mistake? Like,
no, none of our kids are mistakes. So, it's just that when you're super intentional about bringing a child into this world, it hits different. Because you guys have to realize, I've had children for the last 20-something years. I've had children in my teens, I had children in my 20s, and now I've had children in my 30s. And I will say, the older that I am, the more prepared that I am to parent that child, spiritually, financially, in a state of stability. Because when Marcus met me, I was almost a nomad. It's like I never stayed anywhere. Y'all let me know if y'all are like this too. It's like, because I was running from the path that God really wanted me to be on. Because you guys have heard my story. I didn't want to be a wife. I dang sure didn't want no kids. I love all my babies. Like, I don't know. I'm so happy that God intervened and allowed a certain situation to happen. But at the time, it was just like, okay, I'm trying to adjust with the path that God has me, that He has allowed me to be on, versus me being this single, successful, selfish, successful and selfish, like all of that times 10. It took me a long while to get adjusted to that. It also took me a long while because I had commitment issues. And because of the issues that I dealt with in my teens and in my early 20s, our older children are impacted by that, because they knew, like, 6 months to a year, like, we out of here. Like, put your clothes in a garbage bag. Mommy's gonna load up a U-Haul. We out. And I know Marcus was like, what in the hell are you doing with these 3 children? I'm like, I want to explore. I want to, I don't want to stay in one place. My thinking, I didn't want to stay in one place because I didn't want to feel stuck. I never wanted to feel stuck in my life. And so mentally, I had to break apart the difference between being stuck and having that stability. And my boo thing, he really helped shine that light on the stability that my children needed in order for them to thrive and for them to not take on some of those same habits. Now, mind you, as a child, I grew up in maybe 2 places I remember. We were in an apartment, and then my parents got a house. And so that wasn't something that I was born with. It was just, okay, Flower does not, I'm not as successful as I want to be, and I'm not as, I'm just not successful. So I don't want to get stuck. I never want to feel comfortable because I got to keep grinding. So that was my mindset. Did you know that was one of the reasons why I was like, I got to keep moving?
No, for sure. But it makes sense. And on me, on the flip side, I needed stability. I didn't have that. So I know I wanted that as a factor for the kids.
You didn't have stability when?
No, because it's like early on, by the age of 9 years old, I had to move out to California for a couple of years, try to establish some friends, get settled down in this weird school system they had going on out there. And then my dad's job moved us to Dallas. So uprooted again, and we're moved to Dallas. And so I had to establish some friendships and do some stuff then. And then I get to a point where I got some friends through, I think it was elementary to junior high. And then right when I'm about to go to high school with all my homies, my mom and my dad then decide like, hey, we're going to upgrade our lives. Dad got some more money. Mama got a good job. We're going to go on the other side of the tracks, literally the other side of the tracks. And we're going to get a nicer house. And of course, that's going to put you in a different high school. So basically, without me growing up with my homies, I had to compete with my homies. So I basically went to the rival high school. So once again, starting all over. And this time it's in high school. You're older, you're more mature. You don't want to start all over. Yeah. I don't know these damn people. They look at me weird. I don't know why. So it's just like, that was a big thing. So I wasn't able to have long-term relationships. You have people that went to school and they still friends now as they get older. I didn't really have that. So that was a huge thing. I saw the kids who moved in the area. They had friends. I don't know if they know this or not. My older 3, that is the reason why we stayed in an apartment for so long. Mama was ready to go. She was like,
I was
like, hold on.
I was being tortured. I'm ready to go. Like,
I understand it's uncomfortable.
I'm ready to go. Even moving into that apartment, you remember I found, like, you were out of town for work. Yeah. I found an apartment. I'm like, we moving. Yeah. Like, I found us a place. It's a 3-bedroom, big apartment. We out. And so staying in that apartment, that was so tough for me, but that really gave me clear and better understanding on the difference between, being stuck and being stable. So thank you for that, baby.
Yeah, so that was huge for me. I was like, for the kids, they had their friends. I was like, look, we don't need to move. Let's allow them to continue to build up relationships with their friends and grow up with their friends and stuff. So that's why we stayed in an apartment for so long. And then ultimately I made that move. Like, hey, I saw a neighborhood down the street, they building. I'm like, hey, we about to get this house. We about to make this move.
Right. All right. So let's keep it moving onto our relationship. So, next question, of course, with all of our kids, people are always asking us, they're always asking us about our time together, like our marriage, and a lot of things are finances. So, or food, I'll say that, food. So the next question is, are date nights, are date nights important? Heck yeah, they're important. We can do without date nights, or even just quality time together. Sure. Just sometimes we just sit there and listen to the music because we enjoy, like, I literally enjoy my husband's company.
So you know what, I think also too, because me and my wife didn't have a traditional date life before we got married, we take time now to do the dates that we should have did in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's kind of ironic that, we're doing it now after the fact we're married. But I think even still, you still have to have a healthy date life with your spouse, with your wife, or with your husband. Oh yeah, we make this priority, like it's high up there, because you will lose your mind in a household that has multiple kids, a dog, a new baby, and all other chaos you got going on. You will lose your damn mind. So yes, you need to step back, unplug, and have a little time. Like me and my wife, we do the old school. Like we'll go get in the whip, turn the music on, and we go drive. We don't have no destination.
Right.
We just get in the car and we'll make the loop around Houston. Hit Beltway 8 or 16 and just drive around. We might stop, get us something to eat. Might go get a slushy ice cream, and we just cruising like we teenagers.
Right.
You know, that's what we do. And my wife just talks about, and we've already discussed before we got on the show, we need to take a vacation. So it's like, you know, as parents, you need time to yourselves. You need to unplug from your day-to-day activities, and you have to have time for each other. It's easy. We've been there. Like I said, there's not much when it comes to issues in a marriage that we haven't faced. Like, you can get lost in the sauce of your marriage and the jobs, if you're in school, the kids definitely, just the ins and outs of stuff going on. You got stuff at the church, stuff at your job. You got extra businesses going on. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have your hands in everything. You're going to have meetings here. You're going to have stuff here. So yes, you will lose track of time for each other. Then you wonder why y'all don't see eye to eye on things. There's some tension going on between you two, and you don't know why.
Right. And I just want to jump in there real quick, babe. This isn't a question on there, but one of the reasons we're so intentional when it comes to still making time for each other is because we've seen so many couples, you know, put so much emphasis into the family, into their children, and not in each other. And then once they become empty nesters, they're looking at each other like, dude, I don't even really like you. Yeah. Like, why am I still here? The kids are grown. But because you guys put your blinders on for 18, 19, 20 years to raise those children, that when the blinders come off because you don't have the kids distracting you or needing you as much, then you really are stuck with that person that you're married to, and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta spend the next 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years with you, and they get divorced. And so we just wanted to, and that's one of the reasons why Beyond the Vowz is here too, because we want to make sure that when you do make that decision, that you understand that past the kids and stuff, you still gotta like each other.
I mean, and it's so easy to do that, guys. It's so easy to get caught up in your kids, especially they got AAU, gymnastics, soccer, volleyball, football. They got practice on practice on practice, tournament on tournament. They got Super Bowl, all type of stuff. You got to go out of the city, out of state, and this stuff is year round. And then on top of it, you got multiple kids. You know what I'm saying? So this is a year round thing.
Yep.
And you can devote a lot of your time into you wrestling.
No, not wrestling.
Okay, I was about to say.
You're just trying to keep pushing.
Hold on. But, it's easy for you guys to do. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying that's why you have to be intentional about each other. You got to like each other at the end of the day. Because how the kids and how all this stuff get here without you two.
Very true. Very true. Thank you, baby.
That's all.
All right. So 2 more quick questions before we go to break. These are simple. I'm not sure anymore why these are on here. But what is your favorite color?
Man, it's switched up, man. But for the longest time, it used to be red. No blood, but I used to like red. But now the older I get, it's green. I love green.
Awesome. And my favorite color is
black.
Why you hate on me?
Look what you got on, man.
Yeah,
it's black. I can't get this one out of nothing. Like, her closet looks like a little black hole. It's like I have to buy her intentional like colors. Like, hey, let's get some blue, some oranges, some yellows. Let's get some vibrant colors. She's like.
Anyways, no, I do not like. I prefer neutral colors or just black. I don't like a lot of patterns and all. Like this would be a struggle for me. I just don't think it looks good on my skin. I'm just a simple, just give me black and I can rock with it all day. So, anywho, boy. So, last question would be, we already talked about how long we've been married. We talked about the kids. Oh, here's one. Okay. Our faith, we're Christians, of course. But we're, just Christ followers. Believe in the Trinity. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food. You should know what my favorite food is. But Are we talking about like a genre of food?
You can do genre, or you can do an individual dish really quick.
Dang. Man, I'm about to tear some up right now, bro. I got this thing for deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs. I just can't even lie because my wife. In the world. But no, I like Chinese food. I like Tex-Mex food. And yeah.
You like food. I like food too.
We found like a little chubba wubba.
Hey, it's okay. We both like food. That's why we can't get rid of this baby weight. So guys, my favorite food would be I like Italian food. So probably like an homemade Alfredo sauce pasta with some linguine, or something like that.
Now you got specific dishes.
Yes, I love Italian food. I love pasta and stuff like that. So we will go ahead and go to break, and we're gonna talk about an interesting topic when we come back. We'll be right back, guys. Break time, break time. All right, so we can keep going.
Man, I wanted to get some online during break.
Life is better when you are living on purpose, but many times we get stuck in the rat race and in the mundane task of our day-to-day lives, causing most to lose sight of their purpose. That's why certified life coach, inner healer, and business strategist LaFlower Bowie is here to help you get calibrated to your calling through proven systems, techniques, and resources. Order a copy of her book, Principles to Reposition, to assist you with your journey, or schedule a free clarity session to kickstart the journey. After these sessions, clients have stated they found clarity and opened their eyes to things they had long forgotten. So get social and follow LaFlower on all social media platforms at LaFlower Bowie. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, y'all?
Welcome back,
guys. We came back from the break. Had to go re-up on the Wizard. Now we back in this thing. How you doing? If you just joining us, Beyond the Vowz. I'm Marcus. I'm here with my wife, LaFlower. We're starting this second segment. My baby been banging out these questions.
Hey, that's what somebody.
So basically, we're like reintroducing ourselves to everybody. A lot of people may not know our story. We were sharing a little bit about how we started, children, background, all that type of stuff.
Right.
Oh yeah, I do want to say just a little bit. Did we talk about that?
No, we didn't talk about it. It wasn't a question.
No. But no, we have an interesting story as far as like how we started, and we actually need a Patreon or another platform that's a little bit more edgy because we got a lot of content,
really?
A lot of stuff to go in.
It wasn't that much.
It was. And so we got a great story. It's not your traditional bells and whistles, rainbows, and everything. It's just blissful. Nah. What you see right now, this is hard work right here. This is true happiness, the residual of some beginning of mess that ended in.
This guy said beginning of mess, y'all. I cannot. Really?
Yeah, no.
Estimate.
So what we got, man?
Well, I want to talk about something that you were going over yesterday. So Marcus was binge watching y'all the podcast. What is it? Fit and Fresh.
Fit and Fresh.
So most of you guys. A lot of you guys probably know about the podcast. And so one of the things Marcus came in, he was talking to me about the state of a lot of women in our country, right? Especially the women, because there's so many women right now who they don't desire to be wed. They don't desire to be in a relationship with an average Joe, because when you compare them apples and apples, oranges to oranges, they're leagues above where the average Joe is because they make their own money. So they don't need a man to support them. They don't need a man to, give them kudos and tell, hey, baby, you can do it. Give them a kiss on that forehead. And then when it comes to being intimate, they have a maintenance man, right? They don't need a man. And so what we're finding is that, or what they were talking about in the show and what me and Marcus have seen, is that once these younger women who are probably 18 to, let's say 29, 28, 27, okay, 18 to 25, once they, get in a position where they are interested in being in a relationship, they want this high value man, which is a fraction % of the guys out there, only a fraction. And so we were just talking, like, when they get to their 30s and stuff like that, late 20s, 30s, a lot of the men who they're looking at, they're interested in dating down. One of the key things they said was that men don't care about how much money we make. Men don't care about that.
Absolutely not.
Men don't care about that. But the thing that really got me, that Marcus told me, y'all, he was talking about the fact that, how did you say it? I don't want to mess up your words when you make the statement of,
I said that the man creates the value, the woman preserves the value.
But it was something other than that. Then you said something that really just struck a chord. Because you were talking about these young ladies, and you were saying that, you know, the position that we're going to be in the next probably 10 to 20 years with these young ladies, and how things are trending. And it's just like men are like, well, I tied to this, guys, tied to the Kevin Durant situation. So basically, not Kevin. No, the basketball player.
Durant.
Yes, Durant. So I know I'm all over the place, but I'm going somewhere, guys. So basically what Marcus was telling me was that women, you cannot get mad if a man goes outside of the relationship, or if a man decides to entertain another woman because we decide not to be intimate with that man. And I was like, what? And he was like, y'all can't do that. Especially if this isn't your wife, this isn't your husband, and things like that. That man should be free to go sow his wild oats, especially if that woman is trying to leverage intimacy in order to get her way in the relationship, in order to, prove a point in the relationship, or because she just wants like to just have that some type of control in the relationship. So how do you guys feel about that when it comes to some of these women who, when they do get in a relationship with the man, they hold on to their or they try to leverage their, hot pocket. They try to leverage their hot pocket in the relationship to gain strength, to prove a point, and sometimes even punish men, right? So what do you think about all of that, baby?
It's wrong. And the problem is when men exercise their choice, that's when women have a problem.
What do you mean they exercise their choice? What is that?
Basically what you touched on. So in this scenario, I'm not going to give any names. Well, you can probably look it up, but there's another story that's going on. She used Kevin Durant. Well, there's a situation. We all feel like Kevin Durant is in the upper echelon of men because of what he earns and his status. Everybody knows who he is. He's an NBA player, multimillionaire, influencer, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of females are going to be peeping and wanting to get at Kevin Durant.
Right.
Well, there's a particular young lady who's in the spicy world.
She's in the entertainment. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, she's in the spicy entertainment world. She's very popular. They were talking. They were dating. And she made it known that she was not interested in being intimate with Kevin Durant. So they went on multiple dates, and this particular date that I'm referring to is probably like the third or fourth date they've had, or maybe the second. I can't remember, but this wasn't the first date. They've gone out, they've spent time together, they've kicked it, but she's made it known from the jump that she wasn't going to do that. So he was like, okay, cool. So that didn't stop him from whining and dining, dating, spending time, spending money, investing into what they had going on.
Right.
So they got down to this particular game where he was playing in. He had this young lady and a couple of her friends up in the suite. As we all know, a suite is expensive. He paid for that. They had food, they had drinks, they lived it up. They lived their best life up in the suite. Once the game was over, he came back up there, but he also came with another female that he called and wanted to bring with. And this woman was down to do whatever Kevin Durant wanted to do. Or basically, should I say, do what she wouldn't do. So the other lady who's in the spicy world had felt a certain type of way. So my thing was, and what the topic of this conversation was, you can't get mad at Kevin Durant for exercising his right in his position as a man. In this position, she already made it clear.
Why your eyebrows to the sky.
She made it clear that she wasn't going to do certain things, which is absolutely within the right. Women have the right to do and say whatever you want to do with your bodies. But the problem is, and what I'm trying to get most people to understand is, men also have that same right to say, well, since you're not going to share yourself with me, you're not going to allow me to be with you in that way, then I have the right to make a move too. I can either stay or I can go. So, but when sometimes I'm seeing when we exercise that right, and this is where the debate was. It's like when we exercise that right, we're considered misogynistic. We're considered to be just women haters, and we're not understanding. But I'm like, no, I understand what you're saying, but you also too, you want to use and leverage things against men to get what you want. Women have done it for a long time.
My thing that I said yesterday, I said that I am cool with the man exercising all of his options and opportunities, as long as he communicates that up front. Like, you're not the only one. Like, hey, we can still kick it. I know you don't want to be intimate with me right now, but I'm gonna have fun with other women. And then let me make that decision if I want to continue with you. Let me make that decision. Versus you showing up with somebody, you got her probably up in here in the suite with me. Y'all know that's one of my pet. Like, don't embarrass me in front of another female, in front of another woman. That's
actually in that particular, she was coming to party. She was going to hang out with them anyway. I mean, it was all going to be a group thing.
But I'm saying, was she in the suite with the girl?
No. When Kevin Durant came up, he brought her with him.
Okay. But still, I think that if that's the case, then the man should share his mindset. If you want to sow your wild oats, if you don't want to be faithful, if you don't want to be committed, then share and let that woman make that decision herself.
Why does he need to share if they're not in a committed relationship?
He needs to share so that she can make an educated decision on if she wants to continue with this man or not. Because, or do I need to say, hey, are we monogamous? Or maybe I've just been out the dating game for too long and you guys let me know. Do you get to at what point in your relationship do you get to where you're saying, okay, we're monogamous, we're not gonna see nobody else?
So basically what the whole thing is, do you all feel out there, since we're talking about Beyond the Vowz, that, and we're talking about marriage and relationships that's leading to marriage engagements and things, what we're seeing with a group of kids, and I say kids because they are between 18 and 25, they're not getting
young adults.
They're kids to me, but young adults, they're not getting married. One, they're not really talking and wanting to deal with each other in that age range. The reason why is we're finding a lot of the young ladies of that age range are wanting to deal with men that are more established. And when I say established, money. So typically men at that age don't have the status or the money. The thing is, the men that have the status and the money are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. They're not, so the young ladies are not even remotely interested in guys in their own class. Like, I'm hearing stories of guys being in college, they can't even get a date because the girls are like, how much do you make? What do you drive? What does your bank account look like? What do you do? I'm like, I'm a freaking college student. Then there's nothing we need to talk about.
Okay, but pivot. And why did I say this is the mindset of so many young people right now?
Yeah, okay.
You gotta go back to the root.
You know me.
You gotta go back to the root.
I go back to the root of things. I'm just saying what the state of the relationship is. And my wife had really fun. She's like, stuff. But anyways, we're just looking at what these kids are going through. Because I have one. My daughter is in her early 20s. So we speak game. We talk about. We try to find what the mindset of the young ladies or the young men are doing this time. Because hey, these are going to be our future leaders, and these are going to be our example of what marriage and relationships are. So the reason why we talk about it is because their example of a relationship didn't exist. And my wife is a big advocate on that, and I am too, that men through
But hold on, what was your first thing? Your first reason?
What I said.
You didn't mention the men at first. What was your first reason?
I don't know. What was my first reason?
Your first reason had to do with just them being selfish. It wasn't even going back and looking at the root. It was like, being selfish, saying, you know what? I don't need a man. I don't want a man.
Oh, okay. No. Okay, basically what I was saying was, basically what I was saying, like, the mindset of the young ladies now are like, they want to be boss. The thing is boss babes. Like she said, I don't need a man. I can level up myself. And you can be a boss with a man. Hold on. But we're not talking about boss with a man. We're going to say that, but I'm saying what we're noticing is young ladies between 18 and 24 have the mindset, I can be my own boss. I don't need a man. I can level myself up. I can fatten up, put zeros in my bank account. I can live where I want to, go where I want to, do what I want to. And I don't need a man to supply and be a sponsor for that. They're leveling themselves up. Okay, so now let's go back to the root. But what I was saying was, the problem is when they're ready to be in a relationship with a man, in their mindset, they said they have to level up because that's what men want. They want a woman that's ambitious, that's an alpha, a number one. She's got her own bank account, own stuff. But the problem is men don't care about that. Men care about that when that's the side piece. Men care about that when that's a she's the perfect mistress. No. Yes, she is, because guess what? She's busy. She has her own. She financially, she don't need nothing from you. So this is an aspect that you talking about with the side piece, but I'm just saying. I'm just bringing it up. We're not gonna talk about the side piece. We're talking about the straight up personal relationship. I'm just saying a lot of these young ladies, men in general. I'm saying the average man, especially a man of upper echelons that makes 6 figures or more, which is a very small snippet of a percentage of men. Hell, it's hard to find a man that makes 70, 80,000 a year, let alone 6 figures or higher. And once you get up there, they definitely don't care about what's in your bank account, because your lifestyle, what you make, ladies, is not going to sustain him or take care of him. That's not how we're wired. That's not what he's on. So it's like what you're bringing, like you having your bank account, you having your millions, I could care less. And for the average man that's out here hustling, doing his own thing, for me, I could care less what you got. I didn't care what my wife had. We were going to build something together, or I was going to take care of it. That's what a real man does. He's going to provide for his family. He's going to have that foundation. I don't care what you're coming in with. I don't care. But I'm just saying, women have this notion that I got to level up. I got to have these things to get this man. But the problem is when they level up, they don't want to deal with Joe that's down here making 50 grand and she's making 6 figures. Like, I'm a doctor and he's a trash man. No, I cannot go tell my homegirls. I cannot tell my mentor that I'm dating Joe the trash guy. No. Okay, so that's one reason why we do it. Hold on, I wasn't finished. So then when she's leveling up, she wants a guy to be up here, that's up here or above. Like I said earlier, if he's up here, level up here. Okay, I'm handsy today. Using all the hands, landing the plane. We coming with levels, baby. When she's up here and he's up here, he don't care about her being up here, because he's up here. And sometimes he's even up here. He definitely don't give a damn. So. Oh my goodness. Okay, now what were you saying? I was just saying, because you guys know me. I'm an analytical person. I like to always, even in my coaching and my healing stuff, I want to go back to the root. What is the root cause of so many young women of all ages, races and things like that, from different backgrounds? Why are there so many women that are a part of this group, this wifeless group, this menless group? It's like you guys are definitely used as a tool versus an asset. For sure. And I was telling Marcus that if you look back over probably between mid 80s to mid early 2000s, like 05 and stuff like that, you got to realize that the state of the home, the home, but especially the Black home, it was being torn apart. There are a lot of women who had to level up by themselves. Shout out to those single moms. You have so many single moms out there. Then you also, not only were the moms single moms, but the moms also managed to level them and their kids up
without a man being present full time. So now you have these babies. Yes, I do. Now you have these babies who have seen their mom level up herself without a man present 100%, without being married to a man. She got more degrees than a thermometer. Mom is she good, she Gucci. And so now you have these young ladies who are like, all a man did was bring heartache and pain to my mama. Let me go out here and be independent so that I do not have to depend on nobody. I don't want to depend on nobody. And so now we have a generation that's coming through now where it's like, and I definitely identify with that because that's the path that I was headed down. I was headed down that path.
And then on the flip side of that, with the young men, they're noticing, like the young women are saying that a lot of the young men are not motivated. They're very sensitive. They're more, we were talking about earlier, we brought up a beta male. And that also comes to the fact there's no alpha males in the house. The fathers has been out. It's just a ripple effect through the generations of what we're seeing. Absolutely. I'm just speaking on the attitude and the mindset of, we know where it comes from. It came from when daddy got locked up. Daddy lost his job.
Or daddy was being a sorry man, and he didn't take care of his kid.
Dad did a lot of things because daddy didn't have the mindset. Once again, he didn't have the example. And this is a ripple effect through the generations. So she did say, and we have talked about that.
And then you got another thing. You got some of these bitter mamas, okay? You got some of these bitter mamas out there who have fueled this generation of women to be like, forget daddy with a capital F.
And then you
forget him because they're bitter. Because I'll give it up. Some of these dads, we're not all sorry. Because I've seen it firsthand where some of you baby mamas out there, y'all have been vindictive. You guys have been bitter, all of those things, and kept that man away from his child. And when you have that, it impacts the child's view on the world and relationships and family and marriage.
For sure. It
screws everything up just because he decided that you were not his forever boo. Or because he cheated one time and you're like, I'm not doing this, I'm out. And so it's just been a residual effect. And my heart really hurts, guys, because family means so much to me. The family structure means so much to me now. The presence of a father in the home, or just a father in that child's life, that's priceless. I know that I'm the woman that I am today because of my dad. Even though he was taken away when I was 17 years old, I know that he played a vital role in my morals, my value, my view on life. So.
Oh, and I will say this is just a sidebar for the single moms. I do say that you guys are tremendous. Y'all are wonderful. Y'all are powerful. Y'all are everything that y'all can be. But at the end of the day, you cannot show a man how to be a man. My best advice is try to get your son some kind of mentorship. Get him a coach. Get him in sports where he has a coach. He has somebody there that can help him and mold him. Get him in the Big Brother program. Get him if you're in the church or something like that. I can say this because I was born into a situation where my parents split up early, and my father was absent. I knew where he was. I knew what he was doing, but he, through his own life, had something else going on and couldn't deal with me. So yes, I was raised by a single mom for the first 9 years of my life, and then my mom remarried. So then I got another aspect of what a man is in the household, and that is huge, for a young man. And I'm not saying you gotta jump. It's not that you can. I don't want you guys to say, "Oh, I gotta jump to get married." No, I'm just saying you don't have to get married for him to have that male role model. If he's got an uncle, he's got a brother. Right. If he's got uncles, he's got a cousin or somebody that he needs to be around men to understand what it's like to be a man. That was the best thing for me. It helped me out. And then I had a grandfather that he was my rock. He's who I am. What my wife sees today is because of my grandfather. I feel like he molded me from a long time. I used to watch this man move in silence and do things, and I'm like, dang. My grandfather's low-key gangster. but and he moved in silence.
Oh my goodness!
But
I forgot my question. I forgot it. It's all good. We'll move forward. I do want to pivot really quick though. Well, not a full pivot, but I do want to touch on another thing that we heard on the podcast yesterday. And it really spoke to me because I didn't realize that's how I was. Or that's how I was becoming after my father was killed. So whenever I would interact with confident males, and I think that's why I couldn't stand your ass.
Alphas.
Whenever I would interact with an alpha male, because I was so much of an alpha female, it would work my nerves. I would literally get offended.
Just like this.
I would get offended, and I'll be like, "Who does he think he's talking to? Why is he so disrespectful?" It's like, you need to take some of that bass out of your voice when you talk to me. Like, my opinion, like, you don't hear me talking. But I realized it was the fact that after my dad passed, I was not around a lot of alpha men, right? Or any men at all. And so I did not, as I was coming into young adulthood, I did not know how to interact with men or what to expect from a true alpha male, you know, because they carry themselves a certain way. They speak a certain way, right? And they command authority a certain way. And if I'm an alpha female and I'm like, I'm, you know, I'm not going to say that, but, you know, I wear the biggest pants, you know, in this situation and in this meeting, then an alpha male comes into the room and trumps my authority. Like I said, I would take total offense to it because I did not have the right expectations on how to deal with an alpha male. When he would speak stern to me and things like that, or very just assertive, it wasn't that he was frustrated with me or mad at me. It was just, that's just what came with being that alpha male, right? And so that's just a level up tip for a lot of women out there where you are successful. You are a mover and shaker. You are doing your thing. But just as much as you're doing your thing in your world, you have to understand, okay, how do I interact with an alpha male? You know, because in every conversation, somebody is buying and somebody's selling. That means every conversation, someone has the higher level of authority in that conversation. And we just have to recognize that. Okay? What do you think, man?
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what I'm seeing. You see it on TV, you see it in these shows that you have women that have leveled themselves up. They feel like they're alpha females, which is absolutely okay because you have to be alpha to survive in your world. But the problem is when you come across an alpha boss, an alpha potential boyfriend, an alpha anything that's in the male species, you're going to already feel like, hold on, you're going to feel like a fish out of water. You're like, this is unfamiliar territory because I'm used to dudes catering to me.
Right.
When I say something, he'll back down or he'll just stop or he'll do. This one is different. He's coming straight forward. He's not backing down and he's sticking to his guns. That's an alpha male. And when you got an alpha female, like you said, an alpha male, there's going to be fight. There is going to be tension.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing. And then what it comes across, and my issue is sometimes when the alpha male is flexing who he is, he's considered to be a woman hater, woman basher, misogynistic. And that's not how it is. And the worst thing you can do is stifle a man's role and who he is as an alpha. And that's what I'm finding these women are doing, is trying to stifle men being alphas because they're alpha. Like, you can't get mad because I'm just as dominant as you're trying to be. Like, no, you're not going to stifle me. Now, a beta, yeah, he's going to be like, I'm a beta, whatever you want, I'll do. Alphas is like, no, this is my ship, I'm the captain. You're a passenger. You're going to have to sit down. And wherever I take you, that's where we're going to go. So.
It has to be talked about. The best alpha out there is when you're able to know when to fall back, especially when it comes to relationships, and let that other person take control. That comes with wisdom and maturity, because a true alpha doesn't have to flex his muscles every single time. It's a beautiful dance that we do when we're in a relationship with each other or when we're in business with each other and things like that.
For sure.
But oh my gosh, this time has flown by.
But real quick, we did want to say that the state of the relationship is getting better. My wife brought to my attention that fathers are getting back into the home, so things are going to be reversed. So that is very optimistic and moving into the future, that things are going back to what it should be. Daddies are back, the family's back flourishing, kids are under the leadership of an alpha male or of a man in the household. So that is a beautiful thing. I just wanted to say that before we get off. I'm not saying all is like everybody's going to hell. No. So everything's getting turned around in a positive state.
It's a beautiful thing where the state of the family is headed right now. We were just talking about that. What we see in these young women is a residual effect that would happen over 20 years ago. But guys, we about to get up out of here. We about to go eat some of this yummy Caribbean food.
Eggs.
And I make Caribbean food and deviled eggs.
Had to. Bro.
Something for him.
I ain't had deviled eggs in a minute. Had to get that
last month. All right, guys. So remember, never settle.
Always take it to the next level. Until next time.
Grace and peace. Good night.
Bye, guys. Later.